You know, when somebody says, Shelley, I've got a pizza coming in about 20 minutes, but before that, tell me all about yourself. And we go, what am I supposed to say? They're looking at my resume. They want me to read that to them? That'd be stupid. Do they want me to tell a little cute story? I don't know. I don't like telling stupid, cute stories. What am I supposed to say? Tell me all about yourself. I'll tell you what they're asking you. Going, say something to me that'll allow me to have some human connection so that I can remember you enough that 3 months from now, when I'm actually making up a list that you could go on, I remember you and I haven't wasted these 20 minutes, nor have you. So in the space of an interview, they're looking for you to be charismatic. They're looking for you to create that tiny little moment of public self-acceptance, because that's all charisma is. It's just you going public with your own acceptance of self, so that you say about yourself, you know, tell me about yourself. Well, you know, I have this sort of elegant kind of look, but I'm really a spaz underneath that, and it kind of surprises people, and it's really fun, because in comedy, I can play, you know, this very kind of smoky, elegant thing, and then all of a sudden go nuts, and it's really a surprise, and it's gotten me several parts, and, you know, there was the thing that Tate performed last year, and then all of a sudden I go, I noticed that, I bet that's true, tell me more, and all of a sudden I'm having a conversation that's charismatic. You're distinct to me. You know, I'm going to remember because you agreed. We agreed with each other. The inside and the outside matched up for a moment and created that charismatic moment. That's what you all deserve. I want to make sure that you leave these things going, you know, given the time I had, they got a full dose. They got as much of me as I can make available in that moment. They don't have to get to know me any better. I hope they do. If they knew me longer, of course there's more to discover, but given the time I had, they got a full dose. I don't have to walk away going, if only they knew me. Your identities are divided into two halves. This unique, one-of-a-kind identity that I've talked about mostly tonight. You also have another aspect to your identity, which is common, the ways you're just like every other human being on earth. And that's the reason we can all laugh at the same joke or cry at the same moment in the movie, because there's part of us that is just our species similarity. And the way that manifests in identity is also very interesting. And you know how you're talking about some of the mysteries of show business earlier? You know, some of the great mysteries of show business can be addressed from that side of your identity, this common side, which I refer to as your mythic identity. And we're going to spend half of the class time on that part of your identity too, because you need to know, as it plays out, there's certain parts of that comic identity that are sort of emphasized in each of us. For example, you know, that part of our identity where we can all like blow up a little, you know, we can like get angry. Jack Nicholson happens to own that. You know, that's the piece of the common identity that he really tells a lot of stories about, because there's pretty much no Jack Nicholson picture where he doesn't go crazy at some point, you know, because that's a little piece of the common identity that's emphasized in Jack Nicholson. Well, you have that same thing about you. There's a piece of the common identity that's a little more emphasized in you than the others, and that gives you sort of a mythic story that you're invited to tell, but we're going to identify that for you. So you're going to have a whole couple of vocabularies developed to help you express this charismatic, unique identity, and then you're going to have a word on your mythic identity as well, so that you go, and these are the stories that I'm particularly invited to create and tell, and help you prioritize choices over on that side of your life. A brand is a promise the product can keep. That's what the brand comes to stand for. So that promise is only as limited as you allow it to be. How do I distinguish myself in those boxes so that there's a group of ideas attached to you? And how we're going to facilitate that is literally by creating vocabulary that captures those things about you that make you distinct, not better than, but distinct from all the other women that are going to be sitting in that line of callbacks with you. The brand should never be a limitation. It should be a promise that you can keep. The elements of you that you can deliver automatically that you know walk in the door, and by virtue of your intelligence and talent, you can turn up, turn down, make funny, make sad, but you can change the tone of, but those building blocks are always a promise that you can keep and that you know what they are. The difficulty with branding an actor, I mean, one is the inside-outside problem, and the other is this idea that I somehow have to manufacture this. You don't. You're already a group of things. When you start to put words on it, the brand starts to define itself. So that when somebody says, tell me about yourself, you say some things that you've designed, that we'll design together. You say some things that cause them to go, well, I noticed that. Well, tell me about that. How does that work out? Well, really, how does that manifest in your relationships? And suddenly I'm having a human conversation that is constantly reinforcing and keeping this promise. So by the end of this, I can't separate your name from my vision of you, from a photograph I'll see of you. It is a wholeness. It's a promise that only you can keep because it's yourself. What's going to happen is you're going to find that with this technology in place, you're going to roll out and suddenly you will find yourself being your own manager because you now have themes that you're working on. So all of a sudden, the choice of wardrobe, it's just I hold this up next to some statements I've come to, and if this suit looks stupid when I say those, then it's not for my professional wardrobe. Might be something I wear to a party, but if I can't say these identifying adjectives, statements, and still be looking at this outfit, then it's not right. You know, if I'm considering a haircut and I'm looking at these various haircuts in the haircut magazine and I go, you know, when I say a ball of fire rushing through a tunnel and that haircut doesn't fit my concept of this thing I've used to name then I can't have that haircut. Classes range from 8 to 14 depending on registration. Usually they're 12, 13, 14. And yes, I do. I am always there. I teach them all. And depending on the size of the class, I also have assistants that help me with the consultations and various things that move in the class. And all of them are people who've been through it, applied it in their own careers, and have done and have been working with me for a number of years. Also, by the way, if any of you have financial concerns, which especially at this time of year, coming up on holidays in a recession year, we all do, let Ken know about those and he'll work those things out with you as well. The stories that you tell and that you enact with your bodies and your souls and your voices are crucial to this world. The stories that happen in movies and television are the stories that change people's minds, that move our attitudes forward, that improve the race, that make it possible for people to be a little less fearful as they progress through life. And it's up to the artists to do it, and I can't stand to see anybody quit because they just run out of stamina. You know, that's why I'm here. That's why I do this process. And if that is of use and value to you, then I hope you'll join me sometime soon and take advantage, because I'll guarantee you those results. You know, that you will feel so much more like you can be exactly who you are in these situations.